Welcome to this tutorial where I'm going to teach you how to use a color OLED display. For this tutorial you'll need an Arduino, a breadboard, 7 jumper wires male to male and a color OLED display. The first step is to attach your OLED display to the breadboard. Make sure you have the 7 pins with enough room around it, because the other OLED display, the monochrome I've discussed in another tutorial, only has 4. The first step is to make sure that the display has its current. Therefore, we connect the GND to the ground on the Arduino and the VCC pin to the 3.3 volt on the Arduino. The next step is to connect some data wires. We are using the SPI protocol, so we're using some dedicated pins on the Arduino. These pins depend on the type of Arduino you're using. So if you're not using this type of Arduino, make sure that you connect with the correct pins. The first wire is the yellow one, which is connected to pin 13 on the Arduino. SCL means serial clock. Its neighbor, serial data, I've abbreviated with SDA, is the blue wire, which goes to pin number 11. If this all gets a little bit fuzzy for you, don't worry. In the description of the video there's a link to the course material. In the course material there is a schematic overview of all the wiring. Let's have a look at the last 3 wires. RES for reset, DC for data command and CS for chip select. The green wire for reset is connected to pin number 9 on the Arduino. The DC pin, the orange wire, is connected to pin number 8. The last one, the white wire for chip select, is connected to pin number 10 on the Arduino. We're now ready to have a look at the code. What I did was I used the Adafruit GFX library, and this is basically the example of that library or the demonstration. So if we have a look at some libraries we're using the Adafruit GFX and the Adafruit SSD1331. So first we need to include those libraries, so I go to Tools, Manage Libraries, and we're searching for SSD1331. And then you see there is the Adafruit library here. So I'm going to install that one. And then there is also the Adafruit GFX library. And that is this one. So I'm going to install that as well. And it says we have some dependencies, so I say install all. So I'm absolutely sure I have all the libraries, because sometimes you have no clue what you have installed and what not. So now if I verify my sketch, let's see if all packages are there. It's really easy. If you use verify, you know, and there are no errors, you know your sketch will build. So that's working now. So here on 40 to 44, these lines, it tells you which pins to use. And that's the pins I showed you before. There are some color definitions and there is a lot of code, and this is all demonstration code. So how can you get this code? You can of course type it, and you can also download it from the course material. But if you go to File, Examples, then you see somewhere, and I have to look here, the Arduino GFX library. Now I'm looking for the SSD here. Here is the LCD GFX demo, and if I open this one, then you see another sketch, and that shows you basically a Google logo if I'm correct, and you can also pick another one, and that's the one I was showing, and that's basically the test. And test is what I just showed you. So you can just use this code and send it to your Arduino. There's a lot of stuff going on. Basically they have several screens and they iterate over all these screens, but it shows you how you can draw certain things, like here fill circles, draw circles, fast lines, the rectangles, there's all the screens, and here you see all the functions for doing that. In another tutorial I might go explain about how the Adafruit GFX library works. Maybe we can make a little game with the Adafruit GFX library, but for now you know how to show graphics on your color display, and you can fiddle around with this. You can also use it as inspiration to create your own stuff, but now you can upload it to your Arduino, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. I've uploaded my sketch, and as you can see, the display test is running. This is not an infinite iterating test, so on the last screen it will stop working and you have to reset the Arduino to show it again. This is the last screen, so I'm now pressing the reset button on my Arduino and it will start all over again. You've learned how to control this Color OLED with the Adafruit library. Fiddle a little bit around with the demo code and see for yourself what you can do with this display. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. In the video description you'll find the schematics, part list and a link to the code. I see you in the next episode.